Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this month's Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com. So this is the Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading for the month of April 2014. And the way that these readings work is you can think of a question or as many questions as you want, and then take a moment to choose one of the following crystals to represent the answer to the question that you've been asking about. There's no limit to the number of times you can come back and look at this video, and there's no limit to the number of questions that you can ask. So feel free to come back and reference as often as you would like. So your crystal choices are clear quartz, azurite, carnelian, apatite, malachite, selenite, labradorite, citrine, and jet. So take a moment to think about the questions you may have. Feel free to pause or turn off the video and then come back and you can choose one of the following crystals to represent one or all of your questions. So again, your crystal choices are clear quartz, azurite, carnelian, apatite, malachite, selenite, labradorite, citrine, and jet. And for this month's crystal readings, we're going to use Sonia Choquette's Trust Your Vibes Oracle card deck. So we'll just move these crystals off and we'll give the cards a shuffle. And we're going to ask our angels and guides what messages they have for us for the coming month for the answers to our questions. And all right, so the first card is for clear quartz, and the message is name your higher self. So this card is basically saying it's time to be connecting with your higher self, with your spirit guides, with your angels, and one of the best ways to do that is to strike up a conversation with your higher self and start to get a feeling that you are connected to and aware of your higher self. So with regards rather to the question that you have been asking, the message that's coming up is basically that you already know what to do within this situation, and this is encouragement to be pursuing that intuition, that inner knowing, and that awareness that you know. And if you say, well, you know, Erin, I'm still completely confused and I have no idea, and that answer really doesn't help me, because you could say that. And the message that's coming through for you with that is to take some time to shut off all of your electronics, you know, take some time for yourself, get away from people, and just clear your mind, do a bit of meditation and ask the question and see how it feels within your body, because you already know within the situation what it is that you need to know and you need to do, and to really pay attention to the messages and feelings that come through your stomach and your gut instinct and in your heart. So you can go through the example of trying on a decision, which is something that I've outlined on my website, and I'll post a link to that exercise in the comment section below. But basically, trying on a decision, you clear your mind of any thoughts, and you kind of take a scan of your body and see how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, physically. And then you make a decision in one direction, and then go through again and see how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Then you kind of let go of those feelings, and then you make a decision in the opposite direction, and you see how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that is your guidance to what it is that you need to be doing within the situation, because you already know. All right, for the people who chose Azurite, the message that's coming up for you is learn. And so it feels like there's more to this situation that you are unaware of, and you aren't able to make a very clear decision at this time. It also feels like there's possibly a lot of information that's overwhelming you, and I'm feeling the need to kind of step back from this situation and not to be making any hasty or rash decisions. The other thing that's coming up is I'm noticing that that there are a lot of arrows coming into this person's head, and also Azurite itself is a crystal that deals with the third eye and clear knowing, clear seeing rather. And so it feels like as soon as you step back from the situation, you're going to be able to clearly see other influences that you haven't been able to see because you are within the situation. So take a step back and look at what's happening, and from there it feels like you're going to be able to make a decision and a resolution. It does feel like it is time for peace within this situation, and it feels like this peace is coming from outside of you, so that once you make a decision, if a decision is required, then you're coming into a place of peace and an acceptance with where the situation is and where it's heading. But there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of learning experiences to be gained from this situation, and so to be looking at that and paying attention to that. For the people who chose Carnelian, you're the boss. So, and I really like that card. Basically what this card is saying is that it's important for you to take charge and take control of your life and of the situation that you're in. And so if there's something that is bothering you, then it's time for you to take action so that it is either coming to an end of the situation or there's a new beginning within the situation. But basically they're saying that nothing is going to change and nothing is going to happen until you kind of step up, take some leadership and say, this is a situation that I need to address. Now, you could be saying, well, this is a situation that I have no control over. Then the message that's coming through for you is that you always have a choice in how you deal with the situation, and that it's time to be looking at other options or other alternatives, because the situation doesn't feel like it's going to be changing in the way that you're needing it to until you make choices and decisions and then take action on them. And also with Carnelian, this is a stone that's really associated with your sacral chakra, and so what it is that you're wanting and what it is that you're needing and what you're passionate about. And so in making those choices and decisions, make sure that these are things that are helping to move you into a place in your life where you are feeling passionate, where you are feeling wanted, and where there is desire within the situation. All right, let's bring back these crystals. So then the next question is for Apatite, and the message that's coming up for you is that woo-woo is wonderful. So with woo-woo is wonderful, this card really talks about embracing your sixth sense, your spirituality, and bringing that in. And to a lot of people, or to some people, it's becoming a little more mainstream now, but it can still seem a little bit out there if you talk to angels and spirit guides or whatever. And so the message that's coming up with this card here is that it's important that you're embracing that within this situation. And I kind of go to the stone that was chosen as well with Apatite. Apatite is an incredibly powerful stone of manifestation. So again, kind of tying into the woo-woo is wonderful and manifestation, whatever you're wanting within this situation, you have the power to change it and to manifest it into being what it is that you want, as long as you are open to guidance in helping you shift and move along with that. Another message that's coming up with this is it feels like synchronicities have been blocked within the situation. And synchronicity is basically when you are following the guidance that you are receiving and you're taking the opportunities that are presenting themselves and closing doors as it is appropriate, then things just start to happen. It kind of boom, 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 boom. And as soon as you start living in that, within this situation, everything starts to fall into place. So the situation isn't in the nitty-gritty for you, it is in rising above that, looking at more of a spiritual approach to things, and everything then starts falling into place. For the people who chose Malachite, the message that's coming up for you is to call on your runners. And so it feels like this situation here is one where it's time for some emotional healing and time for some releasing and letting go. The calling on your runners is basically encouraging you to call on your spirit guides and your angels and asking them for help in clearing the path so that you are able to easily make change, make decision and able to start healing. Malachite itself is a powerful emotional healing stone. It's very much associated with the heart chakra, and so it's one where there's a lot of big release that's happening. So know that within this situation there is a lot of healing that is happening, and it's really important that you're calling on your guides and asking your angels for help in dealing with this. The other thing that's coming up is that it feels like there's going to be a big break or an easing within the situation within a relatively short period of time, within the next couple of days to week and a half is what it feels like. And so to really be looking forward to that change as well. And then for the people who chose Selenite, the message that's coming up for you is to take your time. So with this situation, or the question that you've asked, it feels like now is not the time to be moving forward with it. Either there's something that hasn't been discovered about the situation, or there's still some work that needs to be done. But the message that's coming through is that the timing isn't quite right for this. So take your time, relax, put your energy and concentration into other areas of your life or other problems or situations that you may be experiencing right now, because your time and energy is better served there rather than spinning your wheels with this particular situation. The other message that's coming up, and this is coming more through selenite, and it's interesting because if you put the selenite here, it actually is the length of the entire body of the person in here. Selenite is very much a crystal of connection, and there's a lot of energy that comes up through it. Basically, it works with the spine and the spinal column and the Kundalini and the entire chakra system for aligning things. And so if you're having a difficult time taking time within this situation, focus on meditation and bringing yourself back into balance and awareness. But basically there isn't anything that you can really be doing within this situation at this point, so you just have to let it go, let it be, and then reevaluate in the future. All right. So bringing in our last row of crystals. For the people who chose Labradorite, ask your spirit guides, ask your spirit helpers. So it feels like what you're trying to do is within this situation, you're trying to do a lot, you're taking on a lot, and it's more than what you're needing to do within the situation. So ask your spirit guides, your helpers, and your angels for help within this situation. You're taking on too much. The other thing that's coming up is Labradorite is a very protective stone, and so it's really important that you are doing work to shield, ground, and protect yourself within this situation as well. So that can mean not taking on other people's stuff within the situation or the relationship that you've been asking about, and also making sure that you're clearing yourself regularly. It feels like there's a lot that you are processing with this situation, and it's time to kind of let that go. And again, there's also a feeling of putting your energy and concentration into other areas so that this one isn't so much a focus at the moment. For the people who chose Citrine, the message that's coming up for you is body talk. So it's really important that you're paying attention to the messages and the cues that your body is giving to you about this situation. Again, I'm going into feelings of gut instinct, really paying attention to emotionally and energetically how you feel within the situation. It does feel like there are some changes that need to be made and addressed within the situation, and fairly quickly, because what I'm seeing is that this is starting to have an impact on your physical, mental, and emotional health. And so it's really time that you make changes, and that the changes that you make are in line with what you are personally needing for your health and physical, emotional, mental stability as well. The other message that kind of comes up is that first, two things with Citrine. One, it's a fabulous clearing and clarifier. So make sure that you're taking time to drink lots of water, that you are exercising, you're getting fresh air, and you're energetically clearing yourself, whether it be your aura or your chakras or whatever. Do any sort of energetic clearing that feels appropriate, not only for yourself personally, but also with regard and respect to this situation as well. And in addition to that, Citrine is also a really powerful manifester. So as soon as you start taking care of things that are happening on a physical level, start setting your intentions to what you want to be seeing happening within this situation. situation, because it does feel like there's a lot of change there's the potential for a lot of change to be happening. So set your intentions as high and as positive as you possibly can. All right, and our last card is for Jet. And so the message that's coming up for you is to cloak yourself in light. So it feels like this situation has a fair amount of darkness and or negativity to it. It doesn't mean that the people who are involved in the situation are necessarily dark and negative, but that where the situation is right now, it's creating a certain amount of negativity within your life and the lives of other people who are involved. So it's really important, one, that you are aware of what is yours and what belongs to other people. So make sure that you aren't taking on other people's drama and their kind of emotional connections to the situation. Be really clear about what is yours and what is theirs, and start dealing with what is yours. There's also a lot of protection that's coming up within this situation, and so it feels like things are just kind of running off of you, and it's really important, as I said, that you not take on other people's stuff within the situation. Jet is an incredibly powerful clearing stone, but also very protective, and it helps to really ground. So when you're approaching this situation, make sure that you're taking the time to ground yourself so that you aren't in a place where you're feeling really scattered and undone. This situation is really calling for you to be very level-headed, very grounded in your decision making, and to make sure that you are very present within the situation as well. And again, the message is coming up really strongly that you aren't to be taking on other people's stuff within this situation, because it's theirs to deal with and not yours to hold. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for this month's Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com, and I'd like to wish you a fabulous month.